Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be showing you and swatching all of my Beauty Bay eyeshadow palettes. I have quite a few. It's insane. So I have quite a few, so I just wanted to go through them. And my plan is, obviously I'm showing you my collection because I think Beauty Bay are my favourite palettes of all time. So before we get into the video, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any further videos from me, and let's just get started. So I've kind of piled them up from smallest to biggest. I have, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'm not going to swatch every single shade in every palette, just so you know that now, because I do have 4 of the £48 ones. So what I'm going to do is maybe the smaller ones I will swatch all the shades, and then when we get lower down I'll just swatch the ones that people will be more drawn to, just to give you an idea. What are these called? Disney colour palettes? So I have Alice in Wonderland, The Jungle Book and Dumbo, and these I have actually done a video on these back in 2021 if you want to go and look. I think I only used 2 out of the 3, so if you want to see them again let me know. But you can go and watch that video if you want, because I feel like I gave them a little try out. So we'll start with Alice in Wonderland, which is this one. I actually love it. I think it's so cute. It has the, can you see the indent? It's so pretty. So I will swatch them for you and then I'll show you. Beauty Bay do the most insane. I've run out of fingers. Oh my gosh. I forgot this was the thing. Okay, I need to remember to swatch on this side. So these are the shades. I will get better. I haven't swatched palettes in a while. These are how they look. They're so pretty. This is very awkward. They're so pretty. Look how pigmented they are. But I will say with these little palettes, I do struggle with them a little bit because I do feel like the colour scheme is a little bit confusing. I don't really never know what to do with them. But I feel like I made some pretty good looks when I did these. Even the white, the yellow. They're so pretty. So this is the Jungle Book one. It's definitely very jungly looking. So I've never actually seen the Jungle Book. Come for me, but don't. Blame my mum. Unique colours. These are really unique colours. The way I'm swatching these is so light. I'm not even pressing hard or anything. Look at these shades. They're very unique. These colours, I feel like are very, very unique colours. And I don't feel like I have these colours elsewhere. Especially this colour at the top, the violet-y colour. I feel like it's a very unique shade. Then we're going to go on to Dumbo. Actually, no, I did use this one. I think I used this in Alice in Wonderland. Dumbos. Again, very unique looking colours. I do feel like these 3 little palettes have very unique colours in them. They're not super normal shades that you find. Then I have 3 little £8 palettes. I guess I will swatch all 8 shades for you. It's just easier, right? Is it 8? Yeah. So I have... First one I'm going to show is Pastels. I actually haven't tested out these palettes yet. I have not used them, so this is going to be my first time swatching them. This palette is so stunning. It's so cute. I'm getting hungry and my hands are starting to shake. I think I'm actually going to start swatching on my hands because it's actually quite annoying to do it on my arm. So these are the shades. Obviously they're going to be quite light. They're not going to be super strong shades. Don't forget I've got no eye primer, no nothing down, so it's just straight onto my skin. With an eye primer you could probably build these up really nicely, but they're really, really beautiful. I'm assuming you can get most of these palettes still. I think you can still get the Pastels palette, but yeah, I would definitely recommend. So next up we have Technoday's palette, which is, see, these are pressed pigment palettes. Are all of them pressed pigment palettes? I don't know. We haven't had any palettes with shimmer yet, have we? This is our first time having some shimmers. Beauty Bay shimmers are like no other. I have never used a shimmer like Beauty Bay ones. Just, if you have not tried a Beauty Bay palette with shimmer in it, you need to. These have some really nice colours. These 3 shimmers look insane. The purple and the green. Look at that. Just, that purple is crazy. If you're going to a Taylor Swift concert and you're doing Speak Now, I suggest you buy this palette if you can buy it, because that is insane. Right, now we're on to Utopia. This one is fully matte. The shades look like this. This is this palette. Again, look at the colours in this. The pigment, again, this does say it's a pressed pigment palette. I just can't even understand the level of craziness of these palettes. They're so insane. Next up, we're on to the Golden Age palette. I have actually done a video testing this, so you can go and watch that if you want. Now I'm not sure what to do in terms of swatching. I'm just going to do 6 shades. So this is the shades. I did the 3 mattes, not the top matte, because the top matte's really light. And I did 4 of the shimmer shades apart from this one, so you can just get an idea. This is a beautiful palette. I actually highly recommend this one if you just want like a simple neutral palette, but obviously there's not a lot of mattes, so if you're happy to just have those 2 dark shades, I use this a lot actually. This is not what's on my eyes. I have the Jordana Tisha palette on my eyes right now, but if you want a really small little palette that's got a few different shimmer options, this is great because yes, the matte shades you can only really get like one look out of it, but the shimmer shades are all very different tones. So it kind of means you can get different looks from this palette. So we'll start with Love Notes. I actually recently did a video this year on this palette, so you can go and check that out if you want to see my actual impressions of it. So for these ones we have 20 pans. Again, I don't know how many. I think I'm just going to swatch 8 shades because it means 4 fingers, you know, like 4 and 4. So I'll probably just swatch 8. Last time I only really dipped into the purples, so I'll try and do like a 50-50 of the purples and the pinks. But yeah, I did like a look using these purpley shades, so I want to swatch like the pink and stuff because I haven't swatched the pink. These are some of the swatches I've done. I kind of stuck to the pink side. This is what we've got, as you can see. So I did 5 shimmers because I wanted to show you 2 of the purples, 3 of the pinks, because I hadn't swatched any of the pinks. Cheeks, Soap, Lavender and Ruby for the matte swatches, and then I did Bellini, Cupid, Confetti, Princess and Spark for the shimmers. So pretty. This is a stunning palette actually. My look on it, I loved it. I have New Romantic, same sort of vibe where it's like all pinks. I have done a video on this as well, so I did that in 2021, so you can go back and watch that as well. Now clearly I used the shade Penny because it's very dipped into, so I'm going to try and swatch shades that I didn't use. This is what I ended up swatching. I just wanted to choose the more unique looking ones. I must have swatched them in the video, so I feel like the shimmers I chose are really like unique shimmer colours. They're so pretty. Like when you look at a palette like this, you don't think about like the khaki one like being that pretty, or like these ones. Like I don't know, you definitely get drawn to like the really pink section. We have Sunset Horizon. I've not done a video on this. I thought I had, and then I moved in here and I was putting my palettes away and I was like, since when did I not do a video on this palette? It's very pretty. I just didn't realise I didn't do a video on it, so we're going to do some swatching. The shimmer shades, I'm just swatching those 4 middle ones 100%. So this is the swatches I got off of this. The mattes in this weren't quite the same. Well, actually, the last couple were. The yellow one wasn't. I expected it to be a lot more yellow than that. But do you see that top shimmer? Actually, even all of them, and the blue one at the bottom. That's so pretty. I tried to go for the bright ones rather than these ones. Next up, we have the Wilderness palette. I have also done a video on this, so you can see that if you want to. I think I dipped into most of the colours in here, as you can see. So we're going to do some swatching. You have some reds in this as well, so I think I didn't touch the reds. I mainly went for the greens, so I'm going to swatch some of the other ones that aren't the green ones. So here is the swatches. The mattes. Actually, I kind of matched up the colours. I didn't even mean to do that. So yeah, I swatched this. This is the green one I swatched, and I did the top one, that one, and that one because I hadn't swatched those before. And then the mattes, I tried to just choose like random colours so you could see the difference. This palette's very random. You've got blue, you've got green, you've got red. It's good. Now we're on to Age of Opulence, which I think I did a video on this as well. So I think we're going to swatch some of the... I don't know what colour I did when I did this. I actually don't remember. I think I did a blue and a purple. I think I did mix the two. But I'm definitely not going to swatch like the basic colours. I'll swatch like the more interesting colours. Here's the palette and here are the swatches. Again, look at that blue shimmer. How insane is that? It is beautiful. That is this one here. So pretty. It's literally like just... Oh. The mattes didn't swatch super well for me actually. But you can still see there's a lot of pigment there. The Nikki Tutorials Beauty Bay one. Done in. I also feel like this has some very, very unique shades in it. Is it 20 as well? Yeah, it's 20, but they're bigger, right? Yeah. Same size palette, but like same amount of pans, but these have bigger pans in them. So I'm going to swatch some of the unique shades. I have done a video on this and I used a lot of the colours. So I suggest you go and watch that video because I did use a lot of shades. I have done the little swatches. They're very pretty, like bright colours. I just think it's so stunning. Like these shimmers are just incredible. Like I feel like when this palette came out, I feel like it was one of the first Beauty Bay palettes with the shimmer. I don't know if that's when they changed the formula of the shimmers, but it definitely felt like they did. Because this is definitely the first palette of the Beauty Bay ones where I was like, these shimmers are insane. Honestly, top tier palettes. Also, I really love this palette. It's so pretty. Next up, we're on to the 4 big palettes that we have, and then we're finished. This one's a matte one. This is the Brights Matte. I got the matte one. I don't know why I got the matte one. I just wanted to. I think because I thought with the matte one you get way more like colours, whereas like with the shimmers you end up having like the same colours but in shimmers, and I thought the matte was a really good option to have. I've not touched this because I've been meaning to do a video on it. I've actually 2 of these palettes here I've been meaning to do videos on, so we're going to do some swatches. We're just going to choose a few shades. We're going to choose like a pink, a red, a blue and a yellow or something, because you do kind of just have multiple different shades of one colour. I guess I'll try and go for the bright ones because it is the Brights palette, so we'll do that. Here is the palette and here are the swatches. Obviously all are matte because this is a matte palette. So I tried to get like one of every colour so you could kind of see the different shades, but I think this is such a beautiful palette because you just have like all of the option. Next up we have like the sister palette. We have the Brights 2.0 palette. So this one is very similar but very different vibe. I personally feel like this one feels brighter to me because it doesn't have it does have some neutrals actually in this row, but it also has some shimmers in it. So I had to get this one because this one definitely has some different shades. So we'll do 4 mattes, 4 shimmers, I guess. I also with this palette, it takes your brain a second to realise what ones are shimmers. I know that sounds so stupid, but some are so obvious. But like this one here, I saw it at the last minute, I was like, oh, I want to swatch that, so I swatched it. So this is the palette with the swatches. This is, again, I do feel like it's a different vibe to the other one. I feel like the other one is definitely more like classic rainbow, whereas I feel like this is a bit more, I don't even know how to, cute rainbow almost. I don't know how to say it, but that's the vibe I get from this one. I feel like it's a very different style of rainbow palette, you know. Next up, we have the Fiery 2.0 palette, which is this one. I did not buy the Fiery number 1, like the normal Fiery. I wanted the 2.0 because the normal Fiery one was a lot more neutral, but like just red, like this sort of section, but like all of it. Whereas I really liked how this had like the bright section as well. So that's why I got this one and not the first one. So I have done a video on this one. So this palette actually has something really interesting, which I never noticed before. So I swatched 4 mattes and 4 shimmers, which is what you can see here. But I don't know if you can see the bottom 2 shades, these 2. In the palette, I'll show you which ones they are. They're this one and this one. They're not matte, but they're also not shimmers. They are, you can kind of see, if you look, especially if you look at the orange one, there is, oh, let me unfocus myself. There is like a sheen to that orange one at the bottom, the orange, especially, you can see it more on the orange than you can the red. It has actual shimmer shades, like those really crazy shimmers. And then it has some that are like, they've got like a sheen to them, which is nice. I've not really seen that before. That's really lovely. I never noticed that before. I just saw that there was like mattes and shimmers. I didn't notice that they had that like in between. We're on to the last palette, and this is my favourite one. So this is the Jade Thirlwall X Beauty Bay palette. I am obsessed with this. I did a video on this one as well, so go and watch that. I love this palette. It's so pretty. Look at it. Oh, it's just stunning. I love this. It's just so colourful, random and just fun. It's just, I just love this palette so much. So let's try and swatch some unique shades. I want to find some shades a bit more different to what we've had. Jay did a really good job at giving you so many different shimmer shades, because in the Brights matte palette, I mean the Brights 2.0 palette, there's a lot of there's not loads of shimmers. There's definitely more mattes than shimmers, and the shimmers that there are, they don't have like a shimmer for each shade. So I do feel like with this Jade palette, if I'm ever using like a colourful look and I need a colourful shimmer, I feel like Jade's palette is the place to go because there's loads of colours. Whereas like I feel like the Brights 2.0 palette, there's colourful shimmers, but not as many. There's just so many in this palette. And then this is what I've swatched. If you can see, they're so pretty. Like look at that blue. Oh, all of them are just stunning. The green. I don't know how many I swatched when I was like filming this video, but oh, it is such a beautiful palette. If you look at it, you can see all of the shimmers in it. If you want me to, if there's any of these palettes where you want like a full swatching video of like every single shade in the palette, let me know, because I can do that. Especially like these big ones, like this has got a lot of different shades in it. So if you want a video of all of these swatched, I can do that. That's absolutely fine. Maybe this will help you out a little bit. So I hope it did. And I'm gonna go and get this all off of my hands, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please sure to subscribe, like and comment, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.